Good evening and welcome to the Convocation of Grimsley High School Class of 2014. I'm David Moody, Interim Principal of Grimsley High School, and I might say very proud to be there. It is my honor to introduce tonight's speaker. She is a longtime Greensboro civic leader that was raised in Connecticut and later moved to Greensboro, where she established herself as a tireless grassroots organizer. Nancy is the former operations manager of Tally Machinery, where she oversaw the day-to-day operations of a national parts distribution warehouse, service division, and equipment supplier. She was the first woman to graduate from the Maintenance Management Institute, which qualified her as an expert in the benefits of preventive maintenance and OSHA regulations. Nancy's first election to City Council followed many years as a neighborhood activist. The emphasis in both her private and public lives has always been on economic development and public safety. In 1997, Nancy was elected to the Greensboro City Council from the District 4. After serving 2 terms on City Council, she retired from government service in 2001. She then ran successfully for a third term in 2009 and continued to serve as an at-large representative until 2013. Nancy entered the race for mayor in 2013 on the platform of a vision to change Greensboro and the honesty to do it right. Key areas of focus for the mayor now are economic development, public safety, and enhanced infrastructure, as well as governmental honesty, integrity, and accountability. She is always a champion of the underrepresented. The mayor pledges to continue work for Greensboro residents, their families, and their future. It is my honor to present to you Nancy Bone, the mayor of Greensboro.
Good evening. It is an honor to be here this evening. I did grow up in Connecticut, so I am not a Grimsley graduate, but my husband is, my son is, my daughter-in-law is, and both of my sisters graduated from Grimsley. So I feel like I am part of the Grimsley family. I am very pleased to be here as you celebrate new beginnings. Some of you will be going off to college. I hope some of you will be staying local, going to one of our fine local colleges or universities. Some of you will go off to learn a new trade, or will start their employment, and many will go off into the military. This is the start of you making your own decisions. I'll start by telling you something that you don't have to know in high school, and that is what it is you want to do with the rest of your life. People are always asking you this, so you may think you're supposed to have an answer. But adults mainly ask this question as a conversation starter or an icebreaker. They want to know what sort of person you are, and this is a question just to get you talking. I believe that the 2 most important decisions of your life will be the relationships you keep and your career path. Who you invite or allow into your life can be the basis of great joy or great frustration. Choose wisely. Sometimes you have to follow your head and not your heart. If I were back in high school and I had the benefit of 20/20 hindsight, and somebody asked me about my plans, I'd say that my first priority would be to learn what my options are. You don't need to be in a rush to choose your life work. What you need to do is to discover what you really like. You're going to spend a lot of time working. Make sure it's doing something you enjoy. Don't settle on your career, and don't settle on your relationships. I'm sure you all know people that love their jobs. They look forward to going to work. They get up on Monday morning and look forward to the week ahead. These people live rich, rewarding lives. I'm sure you know other people who hate their jobs. No matter how much money they make, they would rather be doing something else. My wish for you is that when you get up on Monday morning, you look forward to the week ahead. This is your life. You must own it. You must be the star of your own life. You get to write your script and choose your supporting actors. Occasionally, life will throw you a curveball, but you get to write the next chapter or the next act. It might seem that nothing would be easier than deciding what you like, but it turns out that that really is a hard decision because it's hard to get an accurate picture of most jobs. And there are jobs that you can't learn about because they haven't been invented yet. Perhaps you may invent a better way of doing things. Most of the work I've done in the last 10 years didn't exist when I was in high school or college. The world changes fast, and it's changing faster every day. It's an exciting time. Don't limit your options. Every May, speakers all over the country fire up the old standard graduation speech, and the theme is, don't give up on your dreams. I know what they mean, but I don't think that's a good way to put it, because it implies you're supposed to be bound by some plan you made in high school, in college, at work, or in the military. What they really mean is don't get frustrated and dare to achieve. Don't think you can't do what other people can. And I agree, don't underestimate your potential. I'm sure most of you have heard about amazing, successful people that have been spectacular failures. For instance, Henry Ford. While Ford today is known for his innovative assembly line and American-made cars, he was not an instant success. In fact, his early business failed and left him broke 5 times before he founded the successful Ford Motor Company. So Shira Honda, the billion-dollar business that is Honda, began with a series of failures and unfortunate turns of luck. Honda was turned down by Toyota Motor Corporation for a job after interviewing for an engineer. It left him jobless for quite some time. He started making scooters in his own home, and he was spurred on by his neighbors, and he finally started his own business, which is now Honda Motor Corporation. Harlan David Sanders, who's better known as Colonel Sanders of Kentucky Fried Chicken fame. Sanders had a hard time selling his chicken at first. In fact, his famous secret chicken recipe was rejected 109 times before a restaurant finally accepted it. Walt Disney. Today Disney rakes in billions of dollars in merchandise, movies, theme parks around the world. But Walt Disney himself had a bit of a rough start. He was fired by a newspaper editor because he lacked imagination and had no good ideas. After that, Disney started a number of businesses that didn't last too long and even ended in bankruptcy and failure. But he kept trying, and eventually he found the recipe for his success that worked. Abraham Lincoln, while today he's remembered as one of the greatest leaders of our nation, Lincoln's life wasn't so easy. In his youth, he went to war a captain and returned a private. If you're not familiar with military ranks, just know that private is as low as you could go. Lincoln didn't stop failing there. He failed at numerous business, and he was defeated many times when he ran for public office, but he kept at it. Oprah Winfrey, most people know Oprah as one of our most iconic faces on TV, as well as one of the most richest and successful women in the world. Oprah faced a hard road to get to that position, however, enduring a rough and often abusive childhood, as well as many career setbacks, including being fired from her job as a television reporter because she was unfit for TV. Now, my personal favorite is Michael Jordan. Most people wouldn't believe that a man who is often lauded as the best basketball player of all time was actually cut from his high school basketball team. Luckily, Jordan didn't let that setback stop him from playing the game, and he has stated, "I missed more than 9,000 shots in my career. I lost almost 300 games. On 26 occasions, I've been entrusted to take the game-winning shot, and I missed. I have failed over and over again, but I kept trying, and that's why I succeed. I'd like to talk a little bit about focusing on what you really like and having a backup plan. I want to keep talking about basketball. When I grew up in Connecticut, my father was a Division I basketball coach. We moved to Greensboro so he could work for the ACC. If I were talking to a guy who's, let's say, 5 feet tall, whose ambition was to play in the NBA, I might feel pretty silly saying you can do anything if you try hard enough, since the average height of an NBA player is 6'7". Suppose that really was your dream. The odds are overwhelming against most athletes. If the NBA carried a full roster, there would only be 450 elite athletes on all of the teams. Maybe my 5-foot friend should have a backup plan. So think about things that you can do that is related to the field, such as a sports agent, a trainer, a coach, sports marketing, sports merchandising, maybe a sports writer, a color commentator. The list goes on and on. You don't have to give up on your dreams, but maybe you should broaden your horizons and consider an opportunity in the same field. Instead of working back from a goal, work forward from promising situations. This is what most successful people actually do. If I could give you one piece of advice, it would be to broaden your horizons. My daughter and I play a game on the way to the beach. She is a rising 8th grader. It got started when I was looking at nail polish one day, and I thought, how many colors of red could there possibly be? And how many names can there be for red nail polish? And I started thinking, people actually get paid for doing that. So we started a game thinking of what are the most unusual careers that you can think of. And just a few that I remember, one was a deodorant tester, or a sock designer, the voice of Siri, a luggage designer. Whoever put wheels on luggage is a genius. A broom tester. So when I got home, I Googled, and I wanted to look up some of the most interesting jobs. And the list, here are a few. One is an oil rig dive technician. You won't stay dry, but you'll make a lot of money building rigs and laying pipes on the ocean floor. A diver can make $1,500 a week and up to $90,000 a year. How about an airplane repo man? Now that might be a series, I'm not sure. If you're willing to get shot at and potentially thrown into a foreign prison, this job may be for you. Aircraft repossessors can earn commissions equal to 6 to 10% of the resale price of a plane, which means seizing one aircraft worth millions of dollars can bring in about $900,000. How about bounty hunter? Now I know that is a series. Although this particular line of work may get you killed, the pay ranges from 10 to 45% of your quarry's bail deposit. So is it worth the risk? A suspect who skips out on a $100,000 bail could net the bounty hunter $10,000 to $45,000 upon his or her return. This was one of my favorites, the pearl diver. It's dangerous, but you get to be out in the deep blue sea, especially when the description calls for you to slowly skim the ocean floor off the coast of Austria as sharks glide by. With that being said, diving for pearls is lucrative, and you could make as much as $1,200 a day. How about a white hat hacker? Instead of illegally gaining access and tampering with computer information, these do-good cyber geeks help companies or governments find security holes in their computer systems. A top certified ethical hacker can earn up to $125,000 a year. And then there's voiceover work. Showcase your pipes in a quirky cartoon or comical radio commercial, and after 5 minutes you can earn $325. Even lesser-known voiceover artists can pull in $50,000 to $80,000 per year. Why I bring up these different types of careers is because I'd really like you to expand your mind, and to think about all the things that you could possibly do. The best way to get a big idea to appear in your head is to not hunt for big ideas, but put a lot of time in work that interests you, and in the process, keep your mind open where a big idea can take roost. No matter what you do, find a mentor. A mentor is critical to career success, so find one as early as you can. You may have even found one right here in this school. A mentor is an individual, usually older, always more experienced, who helps guide another's individual development. This guidance is not done for personal gain, but typically because the mentor wants to encourage those interested in his profession and sees potential in a young person and wants to leave a strong legacy. Experimenting with internships is the best way to gain exposure to a possible career. The only way to really find out if a career path is right for you is to try it out. It's easy to think you might want to hang your hat on a particular career path, only to find that you're disillusioned by the reality of actually doing the job. Networking is still the #1 way to find careers and jobs. At all stages of life, whether you're in school or at work, networking is the key to staying connected to where the jobs are. Believe it or not, likability is the #1 reason why people get hired. Learn how to project a friendly, helpful persona. Knowing how to communicate easily and effectively will serve you well in whatever career you end up choosing. As I was trying to think of what I was going to say to you, I went on Facebook. I like to Facebook and Twitter and Instagram. And I kind of just threw it out there and said that I was going to be talking to Grimsley Convocation. And what words of wisdom would my Facebook friends have for you? So here are a few. I got a little worried when the first one was wear sunscreen. But they kind of got a little upscale after that. Be more concerned with making a difference than making money. Check out Steve Jobs' Stanford speech. I enjoyed it on YouTube. And I really encourage you to Google Steve Jobs' Stanford graduation speech. It's 14 minutes long and it's well worth every minute. Be coachable. Do what Steve Jobs said. Always be flexible, and change is a good thing. Good manners matter. Learn to appreciate every mistake you make. When in trouble or in doubt, run in circles, scream and shout. I haven't tried that one yet. Listen and lead with love in your heart every day. Never do something today in the moment that you wish you could undo tomorrow. Don't compare your success to other people's. Write your own story. When you face obstacles in life, understand that these are merely stairs leading to your success. If you start feeling sorry for yourself, look around. There's always somebody who needs you. They should be glad they didn't go to Page. Don't do anything just for the money. Go for your passion and the money will come. Even if no one pays you, keep doing it. Be something you love and understand. Follow your passion and the money will come. And then right behind it said follow the money and your passion will come. Find your pace and run your race. Understand you have to work hard to prove yourself before moving on. The world owes you nothing. You can't put a value on hard work. Work hard, trust God, have faith. Dare to be different, dare to be yourself. Really hope and peace. Participate in communities they live in. Love, laugh, be happy, and vote. To thine own self be true, said Shakespeare. Never give up. You are responsible for your own happiness. Set your goals and stay focused. Summers in college are for internships, not doing nothing. Internships means work experience and growth in personal network, which means it's much easier to find work as a college grad. Since so many of the jobs you will pursue have not even been dreamt into existence yet, why not dream of your future and dream big? why not you? Set your goals and follow them to success. And one that I probably even need to listen to is put down your phone and have an actual conversation. My final 3 points are this. Don't live with regret. Give back to your community. And whenever you're done doing what you're doing, please come back to Greensboro. We want you to make your home here. This is where you belong, and the city of Greensboro is going in fabulous places. We want you to come back and enjoy it. One of the, I didn't read all of the quotes that I got. Be thankful, there were over 90. But a couple of them said to talk about the song, I Hope You Dance. And that came out maybe 10 or 12 years ago. It's a country song. And I want to close with these words. I won't do the whole song. And I'm not going to sing it. I hope you never lose your sense of wonder. You get your fill to eat, but always keep that hunger. May you never take one single breath for granted. God forbid love ever leaves you empty-handed. I hope you still feel small when you stand beside the ocean. When one door opens, I hope one more. When one door closes, I hope one more opens. Promise me that you'll give faith a fighting chance. And when you get the choice to sit it out or dance, I hope you dance. Thank you very much. Congratulations and job well done. Thank you.
This time I'd like Kelly Griffin and Aaron Stevens and Kaylin Gilbert to perform a number, The Good from Wicked. is called The Walls of Grimsley.
Can y'all hear me okay? The walls of Grimsley. The walls of Grimsley talk if you listen to what they have to say. They whisper the names of students not here with us today. They ooze the ego of many a former youth, as well as doubts in the search for the nature of truth. The walls exhale the light laughter of bubbly girls and guys, as well, and the heavy sobs of people over hearts broken and towers burning in the sky. They speak of integration and how times they were a-changing, and of the school's present diversity, which is now quite far-ranging. They watch over every move, everything going on, from fights to skipping to selling tickets to the prom. The walls tower above us, standing as a solid guard. They protect us, for a while, from a world that's tough and hard. If you cut the walls, which is a terrible thing to do, you'll see they'll bleed our favorite shade of blue. Being part of Grimsley's not just August to May. They exemplify expecting and demonstrating excellence every single day. So, if you go walking down the hall one last time today, put your ear to the wall and listen to what it has to say.
At this time, I'm going to turn the curtain over to a great friend of mine and a great friend of Grimsley, Mr. Joe Franks.
Well, it certainly is nice to see you again after Senior Awards Day, and the end is coming soon, is it not? Class of 2014, how good is this? It was almost 4 years ago that you sat in here on your first day of school, a bunch of little ninth graders. And I came in out of my classroom, sat down and talked with you for a little bit. And a lot of you thought that this was an old school. Well, guess what? It is an old school. But some people want to forget about the past and move on to the newest thing. That doesn't happen at Greensboro Grimsley. When you walk in this main hall, you see those magnificent trophy cases, or you walk in that gym and you see all those banners. At Greensboro Grimsley, we celebrate tradition and we build upon it. Greensboro Grimsley is a special place. It was 115 years ago that city leaders in Greensboro committed to creating a central high school. And 85 years ago, the building we are in tonight was constructed. A building that is now on the National Register of Historic Places. In 1949, the largest on-campus high school stadium in the state was constructed with a field house that is a World War II memorial. It is still the largest on-campus high school stadium in the state of North Carolina. We have a gym that was built in 1954 that had the longest concrete beams with no center support. That was an architectural wonder back then. The murals that are in here were painted during during the Great Depression, prior to World War II, and they were restored in 1984. We have a historical significance. In 1957, when Josephine Boyd Bradley integrated Grimsley High School, the first all-white high school in North Carolina to be integrated in 1957. This is a school where the buildings are named after people dedicated to teaching and for those that show tremendous loyalty to Grimsley. I've said this before, I will say it again. Greensboro Grimsley is the flagship of the Guilford County Schools. It has been, it continues to be, and tonight you need to be proud that you're going to be graduates of Greensboro Grimsley High School. In 1996, a group of alumni decided to start an organization dedicated to helping Grimsley maintain its tradition and greatness. Over the years, the Greensboro Grimsley Alumni and Friends Association has raised money to support students with scholarships, staff with various grants, athletics with equipment, the media center, senior team, the list goes on and on. And when they get the windows fixed in here, we've already raised money to redo the floor. So that is something that there's a commitment of people, not only in Greensboro, but people from around the country that believe in your school. You're prepared to join a select group, graduates of Greensboro Grimsley Senior High. And on behalf of the Greensboro Grimsley Alumni and Friends Association, with your graduation on Sunday evening, I'm proud to recognize each of you as members of this Alumni Association and hope that you'll choose to maintain your membership. And also, we have a Facebook page that has 4,200 likes. That's not bad. The Greensboro Grimsley Senior High School Alumni and Friends Association. And I know that a handful of you have already liked it, and I appreciate that, and I want you, more of you to do the same thing. But some of you don't like Facebook anymore. You're into Twitter and all these other things. Well, guess what? We got a Twitter account too. It's at Whirly Alumni. And I tell you what, tonight when you guys get out of here, I want you to light up at Whirly Alumni and follow that thing so that you can find out what's going on. Oh, and one more thing before I finish. Last month, I was honored to be asked to attend a luncheon for the class of 1956. Yep, that's 58 years ago. I'll tell you what, there were about 25 people there, and all they did was talk about Greensboro Senior High, as it was called in that day. They talked about the campus, they talked about their teachers, they talked about their friends. And as I was thinking about tonight, coming up and talking to you again, you know, many of you are going to have an opportunity just like they had in 2072. Yeah, think about that. Greensboro Grimsley celebrates excellence in academics, in the arts, and athletics. The slogan of the Alumni Association is, a past to build on, a future to fulfill. You are the newest generation of alumni to carry on that tradition. Congratulations to each and every one of you. With your permission, I have been asked, but I want, with your permission, if we get Dr. Stuber to have the band play the alma mater, I think it would be mighty fitting if we all ended the evening by singing our alma mater. Please rise.